Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, we are back for another episode of DuckBots Season 3. It's episode 3, and we've got another lineup of fantastic fights for you. My name is Duck, I am joined with my commentary partner, Driver2, as always.
Why, hello there.
And we are back for some more action in the third season of DuckBots. Last episode, we saw a 2-second long main event between the defending SummerSlam champion Master and Under Destruction. That was over in one flip. Sorry, Under Destruction.
No!
But without further ado, let's take a look at our fight card for episode 3. Kicking us off is one fight that has been talked about quite a bit. We have Imposter debuting its brand new egg beater design, going up against Spellbreak from Living Murphy's Law, a hinge flipper Bronco. Also have matches such as Blip and Tornado in a little chaotic robotic showdown, Steel Legion versus Ghost, Overhead Death versus Obsidian, Pretzel Bite versus Fruit Ninja, Agent P versus Warlord, that's a highlighted fight, don't worry about it. And in the main event, it's Squish from Oatmeal Robotics going up against Goo, perennial DuckBots contender. They've done well in most competitions. Starting us off, we have Imposter. This is the brand new redesign for Season 3, sporting a massive vertical spinning egg beater weapon on just a gigantic N20 motor. Despite it has a few issues turning, but despite all that, this is an incredibly powerful weapon, easily able to chuck robots clean out of the arena in one hit, and this is a robot to fear for this entire tournament. But their opponents tonight, fairly untested robot in proper combat. We have Spellbreak from Living Murphy's Law. This is a Bronco base with some nice bigger wheels, some good wedges, and a hinge flipper design on the Bronco mechanism. Spellbreak also sports those front paddles, if you will, that are very good at dealing with big wide drums, so it'll be interesting to see if Spellbreak will be able to counter that massive weapon of Imposter in this fight. This should be a good match to start off the episode. Last episode's starter match was absolutely insane between Komodo Dragon and Claw Viper. Let's see if these two can live up to the hype of that match. Let's take it to the arena. And we are underway in this fight. Spellbreak coming out of the gates incredibly fast. Imposter spinning up that giant weapon. And already Spellbreak seems to be able to deflect that weapon with those paddles. And a good little pop there off the front of Spellbreak by Imposter. But it looks like after that hit, that weapon of Imposter seems to be spinning down.
This fight is not going very well for Imposter. Its weapon is now down. I don't know if a belt's fallen off yet, but Spellbreak seems to be taking advantage of that, scoring some nice control points with the back there, as you can see, trying to hold a pin. Is Imposter moving?
Now trying to push them out of the arena, they have them slammed up against that back wall. Spellbreak needs to take advantage of the situation. Imposter, without the weapon, they're just a big wide control bot. Now pushing them into the wall. Can they get them over it with that hinge flipper weapon? Imposter just barely staying in this match with that push. Can Spellbreak find an angle on Imposter to land the death blow with that flipper? Ever since that weapon has gone down, Imposter has looked a little sketchy on the control game, but we shall see how this fight goes as we continue on. Spellbreak just hasn't had an opportunity to get that proper flip. To be fair, Imposter is doing a good job preventing that flip, but in terms of control, they are not holding up, as Spellbreak able to use that blistering speed to take Imposter wherever they want in the arena. So far, this has been an eye-opening fight for a bot like Spellbreak. Not a ton of experience to their name in documented YouTube fights, but for now, it looks like they're doing incredibly well against a robot that was predicted to do really well in this tournament in Imposter with that giant weapon.
Certainly. Oh, it looks like Imposter is getting pushed against the side. Can they get the UDA? It appears that Imposter is stuck on the side rail. Can Spellbreak get them out? It looks like they're just gonna leave them to die. How funny. Imposter dead.
Imposter beached on the wall. Spellbreak with a great flip. And this fight is over. Knockout win to start the season off for Spellbreak. Very interesting fight. Imposter started off this one strong with the weapon, landing a good few shots to the front of Spellbreak. But then on that hit right there, the weapon slowed down, and it was Spellbreak's chance to land some good control points, pushing Imposter into the wall, landing a good flip and sticking them on it. and hanging them out to dry. Great start to the season for Spellbreak with that just perfectly placed flip, putting Imposter on that wall. And they're going to start off 1-0. Great showing from Spellbreak and a great showing from LML in total, starting off 2-0 with his robots. But now, moving on to Tornado. This is a Robot Wars bot, veteran of the Chaotic Robotics YouTube channel, appearing in Season 6, Season 7, Robot Madness, and DuckBots SummerSlam. This is a robot that has been around. Not a ton of success in either of those any of those competitions, because it's just a RAM robot. It's a silly little guy. Their opponents tonight are also a YouTube veteran competing in Robot Chaos Season 6, 7, Robot Madness, and DuckBots SummerSlam. We have Blip. They had a rough little fight in DuckBots SummerSlam. They got obliterated by Sawsome in the first round, but they've removed those forks ahead of this season and are going just full wedge. And right now, it looks like they're going to be in an even better position than they've ever been before to get some nice flips. And against a robot like Tornado without any ground game, you gotta think, if there's ever a chance for a Blip flip, the time is now.
This fight is very interesting. We have two Chaotic Robotics robots who have not done very well. Some might even say they've gotten consumed. But let's see this fight.
And we're underway in this little Chaotic Robotics battle between two replicas, and already Blip has landed a half flip, not a full Blip flip just yet. That's still coming, maybe. For everyone's sake, I hope it's coming. Blip trying to get underneath Tornado with that wedge. Right now, Tornado clearly has the speed and drive advantage. Just trying to find an angle on Blip where they can get a good push, maybe into a wall or into those screws. But now, good little push into the wall by Blip and landing yet another half flip. Not able to put Tornado on their backs just yet. But so far, Blip starting this match off hot.
This is certainly not going to be the most chaotic fight, but Blip has seemed to be able to get some nice flips, half Blip flips. Maybe it'll be able to get Tornado out of the arena. We'll have to see how this fight goes, because looks like Blip's getting another chance to get it out.
Good shot there by Blip, trying to flip Tornado over, but Tornado, feisty little robot, staying in it so far with that push, despite Blip having obviously the more destructive weapon. That's a destructive flipper. Tornado is cowering in fear right now. Just look at Blip. That's horrifying. Good little push now by Blip to the wall, just missing the flip opportunity. But now Tornado going full Melty Brain and a good little shot onto that front wedge of Blip with that little spin attack. But now Blip has a good little pin and another half flip. When will they get that real flip? Because for those at home watching, Tornado cannot drive upside down. It is only two-wheel drive. If Blip manages to get a full flip here, this fight is over, and they're going to keep trying it until the closing bell. Another good push into the wall by Blip, trying to get them over, just barely not over or flipped over. This has been all about Blip just trying to get that good flip in this match. Tornado doing another spin attack, and they've got it!
Blip flip!
The Blip flip has happened. Tornado on their head. Blip doing a little victory dance, and this fight is over. Finally, it has been so long since we've had a Blip flip, and they finally pulled it off in this fight against Tornado. Good showing by Blip to start the season. Tornado, they didn't necessarily look bad in this fight. The big wedge of Blip pretty much just takes up the whole front of that robot, so they were having a lot of trouble finding any angle to do any pushing. But this fight was all about Blip. Finally, after all this time, landing the Blip flip in the DuckBots arena. Good job, Blip. We've all been waiting for this. You made everyone happy.
We finally got a Blip flip. Such an interesting fight. We had Blip dominating, but let's see the next fight.
Oh look, it is Steel Legion. This is a robot from Oof Robotics. The original concept of this robot was come up by Funky Bot Jammer. It is a kind of a Terratop style lifter spinner, whiplash base with some long forks on the front. Although, because of their opponent tonight being, Ghost, they've decided to go with a bit of a horizontal configuration, replacing those long forks you see in the picture there with some tough wedges. Interesting to see how this lifter spinner bot fares against a more experienced robot like Ghost. Brand new increased reliability for this season, switched away from that tombstone gearing system. Now features a big motor with that full body spinner shell mounted to it. Really excited to see how this performs. They struggled in SummerSlam with weapon issues, but now that they've got this new redesign with just a direct drive motor, I can't wait to see. The sky is the limit for this robot in this fight against a fairly inexperienced, I can't word today, guys. Inexperienced robot like Steel Legion in the DuckBots arena. Let's see how this one goes.
And the robots are underway. Steel Legion sporting that very nice horizontal configuration, pushing Ghost into the corner, and could we have the fight over already? Looks like Ghost has escaped, but it's stuck. Do we need a broom? Oh
We
no.
might need the broom here.
Oh no.
Steel Legion trying to get Ghost off, and they do. No, we don't need the broom, guys. Let's go. Ghost now trying to get up to speed. A good little shot to the back of those wedges from Ghost, but now they're stuck again.
Oh no.
Can Ghost get off that side of Steel Legion, or are we going to need the broom? It's broom time, baby. Let's go. Here comes the broom to save the day, and we're gonna resume this fight. 2, 1, and here we go. Ghost getting back up to speed after that little unstick by the broom.
We love the broom.
Oh wow, great shot there to the front of Steel Legion, just launching them a decent bit across the arena. So far, Steel Legion has been able to keep that weapon of Ghost fairly at bay, but yet again, another big shot there. Ghost certainly not neutralized in this fight. That weapon is hitting incredibly hard with that new motor design. Steel Legion needs to keep going in this fight if they want to get a win here. Trying to get a flip on Ghost, but just barely. Something I've noticed now is, oh, what on? That was utterly confusing. Steel Legion picked up Ghost and just fell over. That was quite silly. Steel Legion trying to flip over Ghost, and they do. Great little grab there. Now, can they get them towards those screws? But it looks like, is that spinner tooth caught in Steel Legion's armor? Oh my goodness. It's the broom again!
Double broom!
Double broom! Wow, whoever this guy using the broom is, he just can't get these two unstuck.
Oh, we got the hand.
There we go, we got the hand. This fight will resume now and run away. Second unstick of the match. Ghost trying to get up to speed, but Steel Legion flipping Ghost onto their head. Great attack there by Steel Legion. Ghost
having a seizure.
Ghost is having a seizure. Can Steel Legion get the flip to win this match? Pushing them against the wall. And out they go. Steel Legion pulls off. I would call this an upset. Would you call this an upset?
Yes.
Driver 2 calls it an upset. It's an upset, guys. Steel Legion held up well in this match, although that spinner, I don't think it ever started. But hey, who cares? They won. I don't know what that was. Ghost kind of just fell over. This was a great driving match by Steel Legion. After that second unstick, they were able to flip Ghost over and just dump them out of the arena. But this moment of the match, I have no idea what that was. Ghost, it was a flip, but then Ghost reversed it into a downwards pin. I don't know what that was. That was so confusing. Alright, let's move on. Moving on to our next match, we have Overhead Death. This is a robot that had an absolutely insane run in SummerSlam. Although back in that tournament, it was pretty much just a control bot. The weapon flew off, but it doesn't fall off anymore. The weapon is pretty well secured. I think it's well secured. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe it will explode.
Who knows? It'll fall off and it'll become a control bot again. It's like a boss fight. It has phases. Moving on to their opponents tonight from Random Robotics, we have Obsidian. This is a full body spinner bot. Uses a very similar mechanism to the older version of Ghost that we saw in SummerSlam. It hits decently hard in testing, but I'm very interested to see how this robot will do against another kinetic spinner in a Overhead Death. Battle of two robots. Let's start with O.
Oh no.
Oh no. Taking a look at the tail of the tape for this match, Overhead Death and Obsidian. They're both 0-0. They haven't fought yet. How shocking.
Oh my god, there's so many O's.
So many. Yeah, there's a lot of O's. Alright. Here we go. Interesting commentary leading up to this fight, but whatever. Obsidian spinning up that weapon, and already a huge shot. Something went flying off of Obsidian by that weapon of Overhead Death, and a huge throw. And that motor of Overhead Death and the weapon have just detached from the robot. Big shot in the corner, but it looks like that weapon of Obsidian starting to slow down, but it's back up to speed again. Obsidian going in for the knockout shot here to bring them out of the arena, and
oh no, they're both dead.
They have beached themselves on each other. This is a double KO. This will go to a judge's decision. Obsidian just had to back up and win the fight, but they didn't know how to do that. They wanted to be nice.
It did not want to get the points for winning the fight. It just wanted to win a judge's decision. I don't know, but this fight there's not much to say about it.
Who does bro think he is? Theseus?
Yeah. Huge throw, not killing itself.
That was an insane hit from Obsidian. That is a really strong robot from Random. I think we know how this decision will go. 10-5 Obsidian. Good start to the season. Random also going 2-0. I think, yeah, that's it. All three so far have gone 2-0. Oof, LML, and Random. We'll see the last of Luke's robots later. But now, moving on. We have Pretzel Bite. This is the plastic ant robot from Mass D. In Hexbug form. It's not called Anti-Ant. That would be silly. It's not an ant. Wait. Custom chassis horizontal spinner with a very large motor. In testing, this robot has been hitting like an absolute train. This should be very interesting to see two custom chassis horizontals go at it. You don't see too many of those these days in the Hexbug community. But their opponent tonight is none other than the Fruit Ninja. Driver 2, you designed this robot. Tell us about Fruit Ninja.
Fruit Ninja is an overhead spinner. This design was my anti-pineapple design because I was like, how do I beat pineapple? Oh, I should make an overhead, kind of like a Bloodsporty looking thing. I was gonna make this a plastic ant, but then guess what, guys? I didn't.
I didn't for reasons.
Known as isosceles.
Known as isosceles. Let's see this fight. And we're underway in this battle of two custom chassis horizontals spinning up to speed, and a good shot by Fruit Ninja there to the top of Pretzel Bite. Good little counter shot by Pretzel Bite. So far, one shot from each robot looking good. Another great shot there by Pretzel Bite to the back of Fruit Ninja, but now he broke the screws.
That's mean.
Pretzel Bite has decided to break the screws. Thank you, Pretzel Bite. Really, thank you so much. Fruit Ninja, oh, and a huge shot there. Both robots sent flying. We were laughing about this fight beforehand, but this has just been an insane fight. Robots throwing each other around the box so far. Another great shot there by Pretzel Bite, chucking Fruit Ninja. Fruit Ninja, they need to get some more offense in after that first hit, but right now it is all Pretzel Bite. Another great shot to those forks of Fruit Ninja. Right now, Pretzel Bite looking like they're looking insane right now. This is an incredibly powerful weapon on this robot.
Pretzel Bite seems to be dominating this so far. Fruit Ninja will just hit it with the weapon, and then the weapon will stop. It's not very good.
You almost tried to break the screws again there. That was silly.
Yeah, that's bullying. Stop bullying the screws. What did they do to you?
What did they do to you? Fruit Ninja now trying to hit the back, but a good shot there by Fruit Ninja. This has been a great match so far. Two big weapons and another huge throw by Pretzel Bite. So far, this has been a battle of two just beefy weapons going at it. Another good shot, and they launched the broken screws piece. They're just toying with it at this point. Oh, and a huge shot there, and it looks like that side panel of Fruit Ninja seems to be falling off. If Pretzel Bite could land a hit on that side, that would be huge points in the damage category should this go to a decision. But right now, Pretzel Bite looking like they're going for the knockout here. Some devastating blows to the side of Fruit Ninja. That panel seems to be hanging on by a thread here. If Pretzel Bite can just knock that off, this will be all but over. Fruit Ninja, they need to do something here to stay in this fight. And another massive throw by Pretzel Bite onto Fruit Ninja. That weapon of Fruit Ninja seems to be struggling to spin back up to speed. Oh, there's a huge shot there. Finally, that side guard of Fruit Ninja ripped off, exposing those two side wheels. Pretzel Bite now trying to get another huge hit onto the side of Fruit Ninja. Maybe rip off that other side guard. Fruit Ninja trying to get that weapon into play. They've had a couple good shots just like that. Nice shot there by Fruit Ninja onto that weapon assembly. Pretzel Bite and another Fruit Ninja starting to make a bit of a comeback in this fight towards the very end. But will it be enough as this one is nearing the end? Pretzel Bite trying to get outside. Good little shot there by Pretzel Bite. As we're in the final 10 seconds of this match, this has been an absolute throwdown of two big spinners in custom chassis form. Great shot there by Pretzel Bite. And that is going to do it for this match. Wow, that was a great fight.
Yes, it was. Personally, Pretzel Bite should have this pretty handy, but Fruit Ninja made a nice comeback at the end. Pretzel Bite landing some nice blows and bullying the screws. That's bullyism, guys. And then this moment here, Pretzel Bite comes along, gets a nice hit, loosens the side guard right there, and then bang, knocks it off. No more side guard, Fruit Ninja. Moment of the match. That's sad. Those were expensive.
Stop breaking the screws. If anyone else does that, I'm gonna freak out. Well, let's see this judge's decision. Pretzel Bite gets the win by 10-5 score, taking the damage category. They're taking all categories even. Great start to the season by Pretzel Bite as they improve to 1-0. Fruit Ninja down to 0-1. They need a rebound. Oh boy, it's time for a highlighted fight between Agent P and Warlord. Sorry, T-Shadow, your first fight's a highlighted fight. And I think the next one is too. This was pretty much one of the most dominant fights you could possibly have. Agent P, okay, to their credit, Agent P got a few little hits on one fork. And that was it. Yeah, like that. They pushed him in the wall and they forced Warlord to get back on their feet. But that was pretty much all Agent P ever did this whole fight. Warlord just bullied them around the box, landed some good hammer shots. Only reason we're showing these clips of Agent P doing well is because they were more entertaining than a hammer hit. But in the end, this was a dominant judge's decision win for Warlord as they will improve to 1-0. Agent P, very unfortunate. That was a tough loss. But now, it's main event time. We have Goo, brand new metal saw blade that they debuted in SummerSlam for their fight against H. Unfortunate exit for them as they got chucked by Theseus. Hey, we already mentioned them this episode.
Oh, so funny.
Theseus cameo. Goo. This is a robot that has always been just a dark horse of DuckBots. They went 4-0 in Season 2. Just incredibly impressive run. And they had a great run in Season 1 as well. But their opponents tonight, hailing all the way from Arizona, it is Squish. Oatmeal Robotics' custom chassis horizontal. And speaking of custom chassis horizontals, we already saw Pretzel Bite earlier today deliver a destructive performance against Fruit Ninja. Goes to show that these custom chassis horizontals with those big motors are incredibly strong. So we'll see if Squish can maintain that stereotype in this fight against Goo. Goo, they don't have the best horizontal armor for facing horizontal spinners, but they're just going to do their best to ram Squish around, land a good shot with that metal saw. So without further ado, let's take a look at this main event. And we are underway in this main event. Good shot already by Squish to the side of Goo, but now Goo has them pinned against the wall, firing up that saw. One of the sides go off, and a huge hammer saw hit there, flipping Squish over. That was an incredibly strange hit. They went in from the top and flipped them over. That was quite funny.
That was quite funny. It looks like Squish is having some reception issues. It is not driving. Is he dead?
Squish with a huge throw there despite not being able to move. Goo trying to spring some life back into this robot, but right now it looks like Squish is just dead in the water. Goo trying to bring them back with some pushes. They could just leave him, but they're doing good. Oh, and there goes Squish back to life. Trying to use those wedges to push Goo around and now driving themselves into the wall. That's not a good strategy. Don't keep doing that.
Funny.
Squish also trying to break the screws. Stop. Just stop. This is an intervention. Goo going in on the attack now, targeting that weapon of Squish, trying to break it. But Squish, yet again, not moving, and I think Goo is going to end this fight. They're going to back away. Squish not moving pretty much having the same fate as Pumpkin, ironically. And Goo is going to take this win in the main event. Wow. That has got to be, I wouldn't call that an upset, but that has got to be a surprise. Squish was a robot going into the season that I think a lot of people were expecting to dominate, especially in a fight against a pretty generic robot in Goo. But this fight was all about the drive issues for Squish.
Goo landed one very nice hammer saw hit, flipping them over. We saw that earlier. That was very funny. And then Squish died. There's not much else to say. Squish struggled with drive issues, came back to life like once, but it just died.
With that win, LML, Random, and Oof are at 2-0. Oatmeal, 0-2. Who would have predicted that? Kid Basher of the year 2024 starts off 0-2 while all the others go up 2-0.
2-0.
But it's okay. 2-0.
Whoa!
Whoa! Alright. That's gonna do it for this episode. Goo wins.
So funny.
While that's the end of our fights today, we can preview what we'll see next time. It's the start of the second round, but already tonight we saw Blip get a Blip Flip. Obsidian just completely launching Obsidian into the Shadow Realm, and an incredibly strong hammer saw hit from Goo. But next episode, round 2 begins, Dark Matter and Revenge of Mouse Mouse. Spellbreak comes back into action against Fruit Ninja, that'll be fun. Pumpkin tries to redeem themselves against Manta, and in the main event is the battle of the full body spinners as Obsidian and Ghost square off. But that is going to do it for today's episode of DuckBots Season 3. We will see you next time. Adios.
Ciao.
Ciao.